Hey everyone, it's Mike Andes, and you're listening to the Landscape Business Course podcast. Today, we are going to be answering questions from you, the listeners. And if you are interested in submitting your questions, make sure you join the texting platform. You can do that by simply texting the word landscaping to 855-575-1267. Text the word landscaping to that number, and then you can join the group, and when I ask for questions, you can submit them. So that's where we're going to be taking questions from today. About 30-40 minutes ago, I submitted this, and I already have about 60 or 70 questions, so we're not going to get to them all in today's video, but I'll post these in segments, and I will try to get to all of the questions, because there'll probably be about 100. I'll try to get through as many as I possibly can over the course of the next 2 or 3 videos. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, but before we do, make sure that you've signed up for Landscape Summit. All right, so Landscape Summit is a 3-day conference where landscapers come together, and we're going to be talking about everything to do with profit sharing, implementing P4P, creating a money-motivated team culture, and just it's going to be an incredible event. Opening up your books, how to do that. We're going to actually role play, how to share that with your team. I'm going to show you some of the behind the scenes of how I did it. So going to be very, very useful. Implementing your profit sharing program is going to be very, very helpful for retaining and attracting great talent. Make sure you come to this year's event and make sure you sign up soon, because right now we have had to get a massive venue. The capacity of this venue is over 1,300 people in order for us to have the 200 people that were allowed in the building because of COVID. And that could go down to 150. So please, 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 I can't overemphasize this enough. Please register now. And I'd love to see you there. What I love about it is it's people who are serious about business. It's not people who are just interested in, fancy equipment and driving things around like GIE is so much fun, but a lot of times not a whole lot of business talk. So let's go and jump into these questions. And I have not read through any of these. I've just seen them pile up, and I'll just start cracking through them. A couple of them actually came in a couple weeks ago as laggards to our last Q&A ask on the texting platform. So make sure you text that number, text the word landscaping to that number, and you can join this group as well and submit your questions next episode. All right, first question. How many chances do you give your employees before you fire them? This is really a case-by-case basis. We're going to be talking about actually a couple of these at the conference. And because sometimes it's based upon what they do. It's a one time, you're done, no questions asked, you're fired. And then other times we work with them, we try to help them, we give them a lot of slack, we give them a lot of second chances. So every single case is very much different, and also depends on what their track record is. If they're late one time, they're not going to get fired if they've been on time for the past 3 years. Something's wrong, and usually that's like, okay, let's have a discussion with this person because something's obviously wrong for them to be late. Whereas if they are habitually late, they've been habitually underperforming and then they're late one time, they might get fired right away, even though that's their first offense for being late. Every single situation is a little bit different. Next question. Okay, this is a long one. Hi, Mike. I have a quick question for you. At what point in your progression would you feel offering employee benefits such as health plans and other employee benefits such as a 401k would be recommended? Also, have you considered this in terms of tax efficiency when paying business taxes? In other words, instead of paying taxes on your retained earnings, you covered that tax amount in benefits, so that is deductible. It would be interesting to get your take on this. We are considering this in terms of employee hiring and retention along with tax efficiency. Thank you. Thanks for all you do in helping us on this journey. Okay, so the biggest thing is this. If you're trying to attract family guys who have families, this is going to be something like health plans, 401ks, retirement. That's going to be something they actually care about. But for the majority of people in the landscaping industry at entry-level positions, they're looking at one thing, and it's the dollars per hour, and that's all they really care about. They might not understand the fact that your benefits cost $4 or $5 per hour. If you have paid time off, if you have sick leave, if you have 401k match, if you have medical plans, that gets expensive, and a lot of times the entry-level employee is not going to be interested in those things. They just want the money, because a lot of times they're covered with Medicaid and other things that are going to take care of them because they're lower income. So keep that in mind, but also know that for retention, I feel like it's a good tool if you're wanting to keep people for 5-10 years. They have families and they get married and all the rest of it. Whereas in our case, we are trying to get them to the next level in their career, whether it be owning their own business or a manager, and kind of moving them up pretty quickly. So we don't want to keep people for 10, 15, 20 years. So we don't really concern ourselves too much with the benefits. We do paid time off. We have to do sick leave in our state, so we do 2 weeks paid time off. But we don't do like a 401k or medical or anything like that, since half of the employees in the company are covered through either their parents or they have Medicaid, whatever. So just kind of what I've seen, and it's going to really depend on the age and where your average employee is in their life. That's the biggest thing in terms of if they value health benefits or not. All right. A couple questions here. How can I stay busy to keep money coming in during the winter? I live in Georgia, and after all the leaves fall, there's not much to do, and customers don't want to continue service. Okay, so we're going to talk about this extensively at the conference about what to do if you don't have plowing to stay busy, and how to make sure that you convert your mowing customers into winter services, how to do that really effectively and get like 70 to 80% of them to do that. We're talking a lot about that conference. I don't want to get too much into it now. So let's go to the next question. Next question. Hey, Mike, can you talk about the MBA course? Do you go over profit and loss statements, also common business practices to take care of all that legal stuff, and also taxes, or keeping track of growth? Okay, so he's referencing the links below. I have an MBA course that's in pre-sale right now. Got to make sure I emphasize it's in pre-sale. It's not done yet. This week, the first 3 modules are going to go up. There's going to be probably about 15 modules in all. The first 3 are going up this week, but it will take next 4 months at least for me to complete that course. There's going to be over 300 courses 300 lectures inside that course, and right now, like, I'm building it like basically all the stuff in my MBA course that I learned. I'm trying to extrapolate everything that was useful for small business and put that in the course. And so right now it's in pre-sale. The first 3 modules are coming out this week within the next probably 4 or 5 days of me recording this, and we'll continue to be building that for the next 4 months, and then into the future as well. So that's what he's talking about there. And what in terms of what we cover is, profit and loss statements. We cover accounting. We talk about very deep concepts that do not do well on YouTube. No one wants to listen to on a podcast. They're very deep topics. Some of it's theoretical, and some of it's not even going to apply to your industry. Like when we talk about supply chains, and when we talk about, what was I talking about the other day? Product market fit and how to do market research. Things like that might not be applicable to you, but it's really good business knowledge, and it's really good for just overall like what I learned in my business school, I'm able to put into this course. So that's what I'm working on. That's what he's referencing in this question. All right, next one. Hey, I was wondering what your procedure is for raising prices on non-contracted customers. Also, what verbiage do you use, and how do you deliver it to the customer? Love the channel. All right, so we make sure that we raise prices in the middle of the fall or spring rush so that customers are not, they don't have like a bunch of people ready to serve them because everyone else is busy. If everyone's busy, all the landscaping companies in your local market are just absolutely saturated with work, that's the time to raise your prices because they're not going to be quick on getting estimates back. They're not going to be, especially if the grass is growing really fast and you give someone a price increase notice, they can't not do their lawn for a month. Whereas if you if you raise their prices in the winter, they have all winter to find someone new, and everyone needs work, and so people are willing to get estimates done faster and cheaper. So I'm a big advocate of doing it during the rush of the season to try to increase prices, and the verbs that we use is really highlighting the positive things for the customer, and we assume the sale. In other words, we do not say contact us if you'd like us to continue. We say contact us if you would like us to not continue at these new prices. All right, let's see here. Next question. Hey, Dean. Hey, Mike, this is Dean from Full Circle Landscape Solutions in Doylesville, Pennsylvania. Do you include yourself in your workers' compensation? Did you when you were small? All right, good question. I do not include myself in our workers' compensation. In our state, it's a little bit different. You need to check your state regulations. But the bottom line for me, like I am literally at the Bellingham location, like our bigger location, maybe an hour a week. And I'm literally walking into the office and out of the office. So like I'm not going to get workers' compensation for myself. If I was out in the field, maybe I would. I did not when I was smaller. Because I had really good insurance and I did not do it. I didn't do workers' compensation for myself as the owner because it's an option in my state. Hi, Mike. I live in Linden, owner of True Lawn Lawn Care. How do you transition your mowing services into fall services? Kind of talked about that a little bit already, but really focusing on leaf cleanup, things like that. Great to hear from a local. Make sure who he didn't put his name here, but I know True Lawn Care. Make sure you come to the conference. Love to see you there. You're more than welcome, even though you're local. Like, I don't feel bad about that at all. Okay, next question. Hey, Mike. Question about your used trucks you buy. Are you looking for a certain mileage or year? The only trucks I find at the price you say you got yours at seems to be 150,000 plus miles, and I'm nervous about buying one with so many just to have it replaced within 2 to 3 years. What's your experience? Thanks. So usually, if you have a tight route, you're not going to put a lot of miles on these trucks. That's something that people don't think about a lot. Like if you're driving 50 minutes to go to your mowing routes, yes. But if you're keeping all of your mowing route within 5-6 miles of a certain point, you might put 50 miles on each, 50 to 80 miles a week. And that's not a lot, especially when you have a winter and you have days you don't use the truck and you have the weekends you don't use the truck. So we don't put a ton of miles on our trucks. And so for us, we do get trucks that are between 100 and 130,000 miles usually. And we are also looking all the time. We are looking in Canada, which is the border's closed right now. So the 3 or 4 truck vehicles we got this year, we weren't able to go into Canada, which stinks. But we still bought them locally. We bought them used, and you just got to keep looking. Looking for people that are bringing them in from down like south for us. Those are cheaper. We are also looking for trucks that we can paint, and so we're looking for ugly trucks, ones with scratches, bad paint color, stuff like that, because we can paint them, make them look brand new, and get a discount from a retail perspective. Next question. Hi, Mike. What's the web to go so you can help me with my website? Oh, the website. Yeah. LawnCareWebDesign.com. LawnCareWebDesign.com. That's where we can help you with your lawn care web design. I know 2 or 3 new sites went up this week, so thank you all for everyone supporting that. I really appreciate that. LawnCareWebDesign.com. It's basically where you can get your website built by us. There's no contract. It's just a monthly fee. It usually takes 6 to 8 weeks to get up, though. Keep that in mind. What else can you do for money in a colder climate that is not snow removal? We're going to talk a lot about this at conference. It's called winter services. You try to convert your mowing customers into winter services. We'll talk a lot about this in detail at conference. What is the best system for running P4P with multiple employees on a job? Go inside the course. We have how to deal with this. You basically need to take the budget hours, divide it by how many people are on the job, and you're going to come up with the amount of budget hours per man on that job. It gets a little more complicated when you have a job that's multi-day, that is going to extend for multiple days. You need to keep track of how many hours people worked on the job site, so you know what ratios to use at the end of the job. So say, for example, they did 39 hours, actual hours, and there was 50 hours budgeted. So you know that 39 divided by 50, that's the ratio you're going to be using, and then you're going to split up the monies based upon how many hours people were on the job site. That's all in the course. Go to the P4P section, watch the videos. There's the Excel spreadsheet, the software, it's all in there. And I was just answering someone's question today that was using that Excel spreadsheet and doing P4P, so good for them. Next question. Scaling too quickly, burning through cash. At what point do you pull back for a profitable year to then go at it again? I don't believe you need to burn cash to grow necessarily once you've hit a certain point. So our first few years, yes, I was putting all the money back into the business, but then like this year, for example, we've grown 36% at our local shop, and it is by far our most profitable year. Like we'll do, very, very good profit margins, right around 20% for the whole year that we will do, and we've grown significantly. But again, that's because we've simplified things. And so what I would do if I was you is not so much pulling back for a year. I would just take a year where you simplify services, cut services out. And if you look at the growth trajectory of our first location, it was grow, grow, grow. 1 year where we started simplifying, and it was kind of a down year, not down, it was just flat. And then this year, it's just taken off because once you take simplification of services, removing services is short-term pain because you don't get that revenue. But then once you've implemented that system, like you can scale it so much faster. And so I would definitely say, I recommend most people, if they have more than 2 or 3 employees, to take a year if you've been burning through cash and growing really fast. I would definitely take a year, not focus on scaling back. Don't be like, I got to get smaller. I would raise prices. I would reduce the amount of services I offer, simplify all the systems, and use that as a way to kind of have a level or a year where you kind of go flat, become profitable, and then next year you can keep growing and be profitable. Like it is possible, 100%. All right, next question. How does one calculate their overhead costs? What is it divided by? All right, so I'm going to actually point you in the direction of LMN, really good tool for determining this in terms of your budget and determining your overhead costs and all the rest of it. You can put all your numbers there, use the free version of their software, and you can put all your numbers in there. It gives you some really cool numbers in terms of ranges for the industry and averages, things like that. Next question, how much a month do you spend a month on marketing to make over 100,000 K, and how many routes does your main location run? So our main location has about 400 to 500 mowing customers. I think a little bit over that now, actually. But anyways, in terms of month to month that we spend on marketing, watch the videos that I make a monthly, made the past couple months on our marketing expenses. You can see our P&L and see how much we're spending on marketing. However, if someone was, this is the thing we use with our franchisees. If I spend $100, I expend 10 to 20x multiple on the next 12 months in revenue. So if I spend $100 in marketing, I expect $1,000 to $2,000 in revenue this coming year. Now, if I'm getting mostly mowing services, I know that's going to compound the year after, and the year after kind of keep those customers, hopefully. But that's the general rule of thumb that we use. If you're doing good marketing, if you're not doing dumb marketing methods, you should easily get 10 times of what you put in. You should get that back in revenue, and then the year after, the basis of which is so important is having that recurring revenue. You keep the customer the following year, so when you put more marketing dollars in, you're building. That's the importance there. And to get over 100,000 a month in revenue, if you're doing that in year one, you're probably going to need to spend like $5,000 to $10,000 a month to get there in year one. But if you are willing to wait a few years, you could spend $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month and get there in the course of a couple years. So it's just all about the speed at which you grow. That's going to determine how much money you spend on marketing. Knowing that the more you spend on marketing, there is more waste inherent in that. Your cost per click will go up. If you're putting a lot more money into programs, you'll spend money a little bit more unwise when you have a lot of money at your disposal, based upon what I've seen. But it's going to strictly come down, your growth, especially at the beginning, is going to come strictly down to how much money you have for marketing. Last question here for this video today. Hey, I was wondering what your procedure is for raising prices, residential and contracted customers. Also, what verbiage do you use, and do you deliver it to the customer? Love the channel. All right, so I answered this already. We do not deliver this by hand or mail. We do this by email. And so that way we just raised prices, I think, on about 200 of our mowing customers. And so that way that come next spring, again, we're just taking our profitability. We're really focusing on profitability and simplification of services. So we did that. There is a letter inside of the course that actually shows you what we say to our customers. In the templates and download sections, you'll see our exact letter of verbiage we give to the customer. But yeah, I hope that helps somebody. I'm going to be making another video or 2 or 3 to answer all these questions. Make sure you stay posted for that. But make sure you join and you come for Landscape Summit 2021. Go to landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference. I can't wait to see you there. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see you then. Thanks so much, everyone. You listening to Mike Andes on the Landscape Business. This is the Landscape Business Course. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.